You take action without second guessing. It's not about looking a certain way. It's about showing up with full presence, full energy, and full commitment. And that starts with how you treat your body today. No matter where you're starting from, you can improve. No matter how long it's been, you can begin again. You're not behind. You just haven't moved in a while. And once you start, your body will remember. It wants to move. It wants to feel strong. Give it that chance. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't overthink it. Just get up and do something physical. Push through the resistance. Get the blood moving. Feel your breath. Remind yourself what it's like to be alive in your body. Because when you do that, something shifts. You become clear. You become sharper. You become ready to face whatever the day throws at you. You don't need long workouts. You don't need perfect form. What you need is to start, today, now, with whatever energy you have, with whatever space you're in. Do something that requires effort. Do something that makes you sweat. Do something that wakes you up and reminds you that you're still in control of your health, your energy, your life. The goal isn't to be extreme. The goal is to be consistent. The goal is to make movement a daily standard, not a random event. You move because it's who you are now. You move because you refuse to let comfort run your life. You move because your goals deserve the strongest version of you. Take care of your body, and it will take care of everything else. Use your time wisely. Don't let another day go by without doing something physical. You owe it to yourself to feel strong, to feel capable, to feel alive. You have what it takes. Now prove it with action. Chapter 7. Slow down and check what's really going on inside. Most people go through life rushing. They wake up, jump into tasks, check their phone, go through the motions, and fall asleep without ever checking how they actually feel. They keep moving because slowing down feels uncomfortable. They don't stop to ask themselves why they're feeling heavy, tired, irritated, or disconnected. They think being productive means staying busy, but real progress doesn't come from constant movement. It comes from awareness, and awareness only shows up when you slow down and look inward. You can't fix what you're not willing to face, and you can't face anything if you never pause long enough to notice it. If you want to grow, if you want to understand your thoughts, your behavior, your patterns, you have to slow down. You have to make space to reflect. You have to ask the hard questions. What am I avoiding? What am I angry about? What am I holding on to that's no longer helping me? These questions don't show up in a rush. They show up when you give yourself time to sit with yourself and be honest. It's easy to get lost in tasks and routines. You can go days, weeks, even years without stopping to check what's really going on inside. You might be succeeding on the outside and falling apart inside. You might be performing well but feeling empty. You might be smiling in front of people but frustrated when you're alone. And no one else will know it because you've learned how to hide it well, but you'll know it. You'll feel it. That silent pressure inside you doesn't go away. It builds, and if you don't face it, it will break you. You don't need more noise. You need clarity. You need a moment of quiet. You need to give yourself permission to pause, not to escape, not to scroll, but to listen to your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own needs. Sometimes the answers you're looking for aren't out there. They're already inside. You've just been moving too fast to hear them. Slowing down is not weakness, it's strength. It's choosing to become aware. It's choosing to face what's real instead of pretending everything's fine. It's allowing yourself to check in, not just with your schedule, but with your mental and emotional state. Are you okay? Are you clear on what you want? Are you running from something? Are you acting out of habit or intention? These aren't small questions. These are the questions that help you understand your direction, because it's possible to be working hard and moving fast in the wrong direction. It's possible to be checking goals off a list that no longer reflects who you really are, and you won't notice that unless you stop and look inward. You have to build the habit of checking in with yourself daily. You have to create time to breathe, to think, to ask yourself what's working and what's not. This is not about overthinking. It's about getting real. It's about taking responsibility for your inner world, because your inner world one of the most powerful things you can do is spend quiet time with yourself. No distractions, no music, no phone, just you and your thoughts. Sit still and ask yourself what's actually going on. Are you carrying resentment? Are you afraid of something? Are you stuck in a pattern that no longer fits your life? When you ask these questions honestly, you start to see clearly, you stop lying to yourself, and that's when change becomes possible. Most people avoid this kind of reflection because it's uncomfortable. It's easier to stay busy than it is to face your own truth. It's easier to blame others than it is to take ownership of your mindset. But you will never change what you're unwilling to look at, and no one can do this work for you. This is about you and your willingness to be honest with yourself. When you slow down and really check in, you start to notice things you couldn't see before. You realize some of your frustration isn't about what happened today, it's about what you never healed from yesterday. You recognize that your stress isn't always from pressure, it's from pretending you're fine when you're not. You understand that your lack of energy isn't always physical, it's emotional. And once you see it, you can start working through it. Checking in doesn't mean sitting in your pain. It means understanding where it's coming from, so you can move forward without dragging it behind you. You can't move into your future while avoiding your present. You can't build peace while carrying confusion. So stop running, stop escaping. Just pause and check what's really going on inside. Ask yourself, am I proud of how I've been thinking lately? Am I treating myself with the respect I expect from others? Am I allowing fear to decide my actions? These are questions you ask when you stop trying to appear okay and start trying to be okay. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness, and with awareness comes power. Slowing down helps you reconnect with your values, with your vision, with your sense of direction. It reminds you of what matters and what doesn't. It clears the mental clutter so you can focus again, and in that clarity, you'll find peace. Not the kind of peace that depends on outside conditions, but the kind that comes from being aligned with your own truth. You don't have to wait for a breakdown to start checking in. Don't wait until you're exhausted, anxious, or lost. Build the habit now. Every day, take a few minutes to slow down, turn everything off, close your eyes, listen to yourself. Not the version you show the world, the real version. That's where the answers are. Give yourself space to process. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to stop running long enough to ask better questions, and then give yourself the time to listen, because your inner world is always giving you feedback. You just have to slow down enough to hear it. When you do this consistently, you become stronger, not just mentally, but emotionally. You stop reacting. You stop carrying pain that doesn't belong to you. You stop making decisions based on fear or pressure. You start choosing what's right for you. You start becoming someone who is grounded, focused, and self-aware. That's real power. This is not a one-time thing. This is a lifelong practice. You'll never reach a point where checking in is no longer needed. Growth means change, and with change comes new emotions, new challenges, new thoughts. The deeper your life gets, the deeper your awareness needs to be. Don't be afraid to go there. Don't be afraid to face what's real. Slowing down isn't about doing less. It's about living with more clarity, more purpose, more depth. You owe it to yourself to stop pretending and start being honest. Start listening. Start paying attention to your thoughts, to your body, to your behavior. Every signal is telling you something. If you ignore it, it grows louder. But if you listen, you grow wiser. Your greatest growth will not come from pushing harder. It will come from understanding yourself better. And that only happens when you create time to slow down and look within. So start now, not tomorrow, not next week. Sit down, breathe, ask the real questions, feel what's there, and remind yourself you don't need to rush, you just need to be real. Because once you get real, everything in your life begins to align. Chapter 8. Fix one problem you keep running away from. There's always that one problem. You think about it, then you push it aside. It shows up when you're alone. It lingers in the background when you're working. You tell yourself you'll handle it later, but later never comes. You bury it under distractions, responsibilities, excuses, and noise. But the truth is, it's still there. And deep down, you know that no real progress is going to happen in your life until you stop running and deal with it. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. What you need is to stop avoiding it and finally face it. That problem you keep pushing away, that conversation you've been putting off, that decision you keep dodging, that habit you haven't changed, that responsibility you've delayed. It's not going anywhere. Ignoring it hasn't made it disappear. If anything, it's been growing, quietly, silently, while you move around it. Every time you walk away from it, you give it more power, and eventually it begins to shape your energy, your focus, your self-respect. Not because it's unsolvable, but because running from something important always weakens your momentum. You know the problem. No one needs to point it out. It's the one thing you think about when your mind is quiet. The thing you don't want to talk about, but can't seem to shake. The thing that shows up in your stress, your frustration, your regret. And still, you tell yourself you're too busy to deal with it. But here's the reality. Not fixing it is already costing you. It's costing you peace. It's draining your energy. It's keeping you from fully showing up in your life. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to solve every issue right now. But you do need to pick the one thing you've been avoiding and start working through it, one step at a time. The longer you avoid it, the heavier it becomes. That weight doesn't go away. It just hides behind your busyness. But the moment you face it head on, something changes. You stop running. You stop lying to yourself. You stop letting fear decide for you. That's when real change begins. Start by getting honest. What are you really avoiding? What have you delayed for too long? Maybe it's taking full responsibility for something you did. Maybe it's walking away from something that no longer fits your life. Maybe it's finally setting a boundary you should have set a long time ago. Maybe it's admitting that the way you've been living isn't working anymore. Whatever it is, avoiding it won't make it easier. Only action will. Facing a problem doesn't mean you need to solve it perfectly. It means you stop pretending it's not there. You stop minimizing it. You stop acting like you're okay with it when you're not. That's the first step. Acknowledgement. Not blaming, not complaining, just telling yourself the truth. I've been avoiding this, and it's holding me back. That sentence alone can break the pattern. Fixing something doesn't always look dramatic. It could be a single phone call, a small change in your routine, a decision to forgive, a decision to quit, a decision to begin again. But what makes it powerful is the intention behind it. You're no longer running. You're stepping into responsibility. You're reclaiming your ability to direct your life instead of letting this unresolved issue pull you in every direction. You might feel fear. You might feel resistance. That's normal, but those feelings don't mean you shouldn't do it. They just mean you're touching something real, and real things are worth facing. Avoidance might feel safe in the short term, but it always leads to long-term damage. It chips away at your confidence. It steals your drive. And it quietly convinces you that you can't handle your own life. That's a lie. You can handle it. You've just convinced yourself it's safer not to try. But safety isn't the goal. Growth is. Strength is. Freedom is. And freedom only comes when you stop avoiding the one thing that keeps you stuck. You don't need to fix the whole world. Just that one problem that keeps pulling your energy away from who you're trying to become. Ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped running from this? What would my life look like if this was no longer an issue? How much better would I feel if I finally handled this? The answer is probably obvious. You'd feel lighter, you'd feel clear, you'd feel capable again. So don't wait. Take the first uncomfortable step. Have the hard talk. Make the bold decision. Clear the weight that's been sitting on your back for too long. You are not weak for having problems. You're human, but you become strong the moment you stop avoiding them. The moment you say, this stops with me. The moment you decide to clean up what you've left messy. That decision alone can give you the clarity you've been searching for. Because once you stop hiding from the truth, you can finally start moving with purpose again. You don't have to do it all today, but you do have to begin. And here's what's waiting for you on the other side of that first step. Relief. Not the kind that comes from escaping, the kind that comes from knowing you're facing life with courage, that you're not letting fear run the show, that you're living aligned with the person you want to be. Fixing the problem you've been running from will change the way you see yourself. You'll start trusting yourself again. You'll walk with more confidence. You'll make decisions faster because you'll know you're not the kind of person who avoids reality. You're the kind who faces it. This is your moment. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need to take control back. Choose one issue, one area of your life that needs your full attention. Step into it with honesty, with courage, with the mindset that you're capable of resolving what you've been afraid of. You're not stuck. You're just distracted by what you're avoiding. Clear that, and you'll unlock a new level of focus, of peace, of drive. And once you feel that, you'll wonder why you waited so long to deal with it. Don't let the day end without doing something to fix that one problem. Make the call, write the plan, speak the truth, release what's holding you, repair what needs fixing. Just begin. The version of you who lives without that burden is already inside you. You just need to act like they're real, starting today. Chapter 9. Track what you do and stay consistent daily. If you're not tracking what you're doing, you're guessing. And when you guess, you lose control of your results. You start relying on memory, emotion, and assumption instead of fact.